Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life very much in your own story, because the story is becoming so fluid, family. The narrative now is so fluid. It's being changed literally on the daily, and there is a battle for the global narrative. So it's better to be in your own story and really have your own perspective of life, because even the global narratives, none of them care about us, none of them work for us, none of them see us in our truest potential and greatest light. But those are stories for other days. Special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us, family, on that platform. You guys are like, board of whatever, board of directors. We really appreciate your financial support, which enables us to continue to bring the Wake Up Africa news to our people at such a critical time. And for everyone that has sent love donations, there is a gift in the mail for you. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Family, what's trending in across Africa right now, or has been for the last 24 hours, is the news of the death or the killing of a Nigerian man in Italy. On Friday, he went by the name of Alika Ogochukwu. I don't know if I pronounced it right. He was 39 years old. He was working as a street vendor in Italy. And what had happened is that he was, before, he had a job before then. He was hit by a car and he kind of became disabled. So he started selling, stuff on the streets of Italy. Anyway, this guy passed by. Now they've actually discovered who, some guy called Filippo Ferlazzo, passed by with his girlfriend, and apparently he was like, "Oh, your girlfriend's cute," and the guy turned around, snatched his crutch from him, and literally beat this man to death in broad daylight. And if this was just the three of them in an isolated street, that would be fine. But this was in public, family. I couldn't even watch the whole video. Really, I don't need to be taking that into my heavens. No, the heavens is the mind. Stories for other days. People watch this and put it on social media, which I guess is how we found out. But other people were like, stop, stop. But no one intervened, family. And there's so many angles to this. I keep saying, be careful wherever you are, because I want to call it like the beast energy has been released, family. There is a lot of like low vibrational frequency, which you may not feel because you've done the work. So you're literally in another world. But all this thing with the double Big Mac and everything that's happened, it's like, and then now the energies have been turned on. So it's like, it's bringing out the true nature of people. Those who are beasts are going to act in beastly manners. And then you see all these gadgets, family. It's like the gadgets now. People just want to record, but no one wants to intervene. It's like I think a month ago, I saw this really scary incident on a New York subway, where this man who was like, he looked like he was high on steroids or something. He entered the front train. The train was fully packed. And he sat by this woman and he grabbed the woman's hair. She tried to get away. He grabbed the woman's hair and she was literally his captive. And everyone was watching and no one did nothing, but a couple of people recorded it on their phones. There were men there. The men did jack. And then after that, like a bigger black man walked into he didn't even, the bigger black man didn't even know what was going on, but he entered like at the next stop. And when this man saw him, he kind of feared. So he went and he threw the woman. I don't know if you guys saw this. He threw the woman and then he walked out. But it was only because that big guy, and the big guy hadn't even come in to intervene. But family, the reason I share this, because really we don't want to feed into this kind of energy, is be careful out there. If you're still in these cities, people are going to be turning beast mode. And it's like the whole world is under this hypnosis and these gadgets and this constant, like, constant feeding of information is making people, is putting people almost in this mental paralysis where they're just so overstimulated that you know, they can't really be in reality. And I know for you guys who, for us who have been in Italy, we can say, the Italians have tempers, this and that. But this is painful. He was a father of two, family. And I'm keep saying family also. For those of you who are out there, be very, very, very wise. Very wise. And if you have children out there, young women, young girls, but even young boys and young men, be very, very careful. I remember a family friend telling me how, she relocated to Germany, etc., etc., and she had a son there, and she talked about how she couldn't even let her son go to the bathroom alone in case he was kidnapped. And I was just like, what a crazy mental reality to live in. So when she came to visit in Kenya, she was always kind of like over paranoid, and it ended up affecting him as well. But no one is coming to your rescue, family. I'm wondering if someone could have called the police. Usually there's on such busy streets. At least when I used to live in Europe, what I remember is like when the streets were busy, there was always policemen walking up and down. But no one came to help. People were just like, stop, stop, stop it. Finished beating him to death and then kept it moving. The police were able to track him later on. My deepest condolences to the family of Alika. May his soul find his way back to the ancestors. Of course, there's so much we can talk about death, but anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. But one thing I will say, family, is you don't just spill the blood of our people just like that, because this has caused crazy outrage in Italy. Crazy, crazy outrage. And what's happening in Europe now is a lot of these extreme, is it right wing? They're borderline like Nazi, racist kind of, political parties have kind of been coming in because of, the immigration crisis and the fact that Europe is turning brown. So there's been a lot of support from the local citizens for these kind of racist, well, they call them nationalist organizations. Although I agree, everyone should just return to where they're from. Stories for other days. But anyway, according to even this article, which was written, this is from the Brussels Times, they were saying that the fatal attack is causing a lot of outrage in Italy, as many people are shocked that it could happen in broad daylight in a busy city center while no one intervened. According to many, the attack has a racist element to it, and they believe the situation would have turned out differently if the victim had not been black and the attacker had not been white. And the thing is, this has actually shocked Italian society because it shows them how low they've gone. But just know, family, with all these colliders and everything that they're turning on, the energy is cranked. I think our high priestess says that. I mean, things are pumped up. The ante has been dialed all the way up. So those who are beasts will act in a beastly manner, easily triggered. And I need to do my show on sleeper cells and how sleeper cells are being used, but those are stories for other days. Family, please stay safe out there. If you're in Europe, Please connect. I know a lot of you are connected to your different country associations. You're really going to need those connections in the seasons and times to come. I mean, at this point, it's almost like, should a black man or a black woman walk alone on the streets of Europe? You guys need to start thinking about that. Was there no other black person who saw this happening? Were they too afraid? I don't even. Was he the only black man on that busy street? Or did our brothers and sisters see him and think, nah, this is too much? We may lose our citizenry, we may lose our immigration rights, they may find out who we are. What? How does a city, how does a country go down to this level? Because this is a really low vibing nation. And I think that's where I'll conclude. Family, you need to recognize the vibes in Babylon are so low right now. They're even lower than usual because they're trying to delay something they can't delay, their own demise and the rising of the Sun People. And you know, the low vibes, it's like the demons love that. Demons being, you know, hate, killing, rape, murder, all these things, all those negative demonic narratives are thriving right now. At the very least, if you do have to stay in Europe and you do have to move around, move spiritually. I did a show on that. Please check it out, where I talked about how you're going to have to really move with discernment. And if the Spirit says don't go, don't go. I mean, you have to become that close to the Spirit at such a time as this. Until next time. Tuko pamoja. So many of us have made transformational changes in the last 2 years in our lives. Many of us have relocated. Many of us have moved out of old relationships, old cities, old ways of being, old careers, and we find ourselves in very new environments, both internally and externally. And one of the greatest requests that I get from you guys all the time is, do I know of people of like mind, people of like consciousness, people who are also searching or on their awakening journey in your communities, who you can get together with, who you can reason together with, because you almost need that support system to create your own narrative. And you know, it's something that I actually didn't even fully understand the value of it until I moved to the little village, which I feel is my final destination for now. And you know, I've met so many people, healers, people who are in the new industry here. And one of the things is there is like a conscious community, but one of the things is I moved here to hang out with one of my friends. Well, not hang out really, but to kind of, I was spiritually drawn here, but she was already here, and she's a healer, a womb healer, etc., etc., a whole other story. And through her, I met another conscious family who do only organic farming from heirloom seeds. And through her, you know, I met other community members, and I found it so important in terms of anchoring me into my new narrative. And so I really would love it if we could create communities across you know, the motherland and across wherever melanated people are across the world, family. We are willing to coordinate that here and kind of see where it goes. So if you'd be interested in something like this, definitely email me, drmumbi at drmumbishow.com. And we're just going to start by, you know, putting people in touch, maybe creating WhatsApp groups, etc., etc. Oh my gosh, it's raining. So definitely consider joining us, family. Tuko pamoja.